fucking finally, man. Damn. Huh. How's it going, everybody? I'm Gio, the Foolish Assassin, and today we're talking about Bleach Chapter 625, titled The Living Jaguar. And finally, after all this fucking time, we get the Fullbringers back, and we also get Nelio back, which is fantastic because finally we are starting to catch up to the characters that are missing from this arc, and everything is coming full circle. But before I get into all of that, let's just get into the discussion. So the chapter starts off pretty much where everything left off, where Ichigo, he's shocked that, Grimmjow, whatever, and Grimmjow, he says, "Oh, long time no see, Ichigo," and so Ichigo says, "Oh, your scars have healed up, what I'm saying, you looking pretty good." And Grimmjow, he says, "Oh, your scars have healed up pretty well too." And then he was like, "I bet you thought I was dead," and, what I'm saying, but he was like, "Somebody like me can't die until I kill you." And he goes to pull out his sword, and Ichigo, he grabs his, and right when they're about to clash or whatever, you see Nelliel pop out from behind Grimmjow, and she goes and hugs Ichigo, and with that loving embrace, and she's like, "Oh my god, Ichigo, I miss you so much." And she was like, "I bet you're wondering why I'm in my adult form, but when I met up with Urahara back in Hueco Mundo, he made me this bracelet so I can switch between forms." And she was like, "Even with the bracelet on, I don't feel the need to go back into my child form," which I feel her child form could be used as a tactic, if you will. Like, let's say she was switching to her child form and then go into for example, the Soul King's palace or whatever. She's like, "Oh my god, I'm lost," and then they look like, "Oh, a child, what is she doing here?" And then she switches over to her adult form that surprises the spring attack, which they do talk about later on in this chapter. But anyway, she comes out and she hugs Ichigo, and then Orihime, she's kind of just standing behind Ichigo, just looking like, "Oh, why is she hugging him like this?" Kind of like being a little bit jealous. And then you hear Chad, he says, "Don't think like that. Urahara wouldn't do something like that. Probably, kind of speaking like maybe Urahara isn't like a sexual deviant guy or whatever." So Grimmjow, he gets up and he says, "Why did you get in my way?" And Nell, she says, "We're not here to start a fight. We're supposed to end one. If you really want to cause a fight, then you can fight me, and we can see who's the one deserving of the rank number 3." And she goes on to say that, "When was the last time a number 6 questioned a number 3?" Stuff like that. Wait, what my thing is, I can probably tell that Grimmjow has gotten stronger, right, with his new costume or whatever. I'm quite sure he's gotten stronger over this time skip. But with Nelliel, this is my concern, because when she was introduced within the the Hueco Mundo Go Save Rukia arc, Go Save Urahime arc, I'm sorry, she was severely underpowered from all those years of being trapped in the kid form. So between then, when we last saw Nell, and now, has she gotten stronger? Has she not only closed the gap that she missed out on, or those hundreds of years or so that she was depowered compared to the rest of the Espada? Did she surpass that gap? And I wonder if she has surpassed that gap. Has she gained any new abilities? Has her full abilities been reawakened? Now they're just stronger. Also, what about Grimmjow? Has he discovered any new abilities with his within his training? Because as we can see, he goes to try to fight Ichigo, and we all know how much stronger Ichigo has gotten to an extent. So does he know how much stronger Ichigo has gotten? Has Urahara enhanced their strength? Because you see Urahara give her that bracelet. So is there any other things that he could have possibly done to augment her strength? I don't know. So as both Ichigo and Nell and Grimmjow, they're arguing, you hear like a voice coming from the background like, "You guys, we don't have all this time to be arguing, and hurry your asses up over here." And then Ichigo, he turns around and he sees a box, and he's like, "What? There's a talking box?" And and then we get the big reveal that it's Rukia, and she says, "Never mind the fucking box, just get over here." And all of them hurry up, and we also see Yukio. He pops out from behind. Rukia was like, "Oh, you don't notice me over here, do you? And this is also my ability." So they get inside the box, and Ichigo, tells Orihime, "Tell me everything that you've been keeping from me. Tell me this plan. Why have you been keeping these from me?" And she says, "Well, you've been busy fighting or whatever, so we didn't have the opportunity." He was like, "Well, what about the time when we were coming up here the first time?" And then she was like, "Oh, well, just forgot." And then she goes on to explain that what their plan was they wanted to create a surprise attack on the Quincy's, and through that, they're going to use those pocket dimensions within the Garganta. That's what it was. They're going to use pocket dimensions within the Garganta to create a room, which is what they did, which is that elevator in the railway. They used those pocket dimensions, created a room, and they had Ruka's power put that room inside of a box, and then they had Yu-Gi-Oh's power create like an area around that box so that it can form into that elevator railway type device, and they're going to use that to surprise the Quincy's. Now, my only problem with this is the fact that why are they using this instead of everyone using it? And by that I mean, right now only Ichigo and his crew are using this to get back up to the Soul Palace. Why aren't they using that back down in the Soul Society? They go back down, pick up everyone, go back up, instead of everyone trying to create this soul door or whatever, or this Reishi door to get up to the Soul Palace. That doesn't make sense. That just seems like a waste of time. Maybe that is the ultimate plan. Maybe Urahara's like, alright, we gotta create this doorway so it can get down here, but that to me doesn't make sense. But anyway, so we come back over to the Soul Palace where we see, you know, all of the elite Stern Raiders, they're all just kind of chilling or whatever. And Stern Raider X, he, you know, Lyle, he says, you know, is it okay for us just, you know, kind of lazing around right here? Shouldn't we be at least doing something, you know what I'm saying? You know, fortifying our defenses or something. And, you know, asking, he says, you know, what is there to do? You know what I'm saying? Juha, he's absorbing Soul King. We really don't have any threats to, you know, combat us. We shot down Ichigo. I mean, there's really nothing to worry about. And I forget the Stern Raider M, the Miracle. He's, you know, he kind of looks over at Uryu and he says, hey man, why are you looking so tense? You know what I'm saying? You know, you should be, you know, calm down, just take a seat or whatever. And you know, everything would be fine. And then, you know, he says, yeah, I guess. And then that's pretty much where the chapter ends, where we see that chrysalis thing that was inside that was the Soul King was encased in. It just falls to the ground, and Juha stands up, and it looks like his form is starting to complete, because as we saw a couple chapters ago, his body was decomposing. And right now it looks like he has more of a more epic style with it, like his cape flowing. He seems like his body is starting to reform itself, and that's pretty much where the chapter ends. This chapter presented a couple questions to me. Where's the rest of the Fullbringers? Where's Mo, Tsukishima, Ganju, and Garuka? Like, where are they? I know Jackie doesn't have her Fullbringer powers anymore, so she really doesn't serve a purpose in this arc, or pretty much in the story at all. But where are the rest of the Fullbringers? As we know, Ganju, Garuko, and Tsukishima, they, you know, they died and went to the Soul Society, which is kind of weird that they would keep their memories and their powers while in the Soul Society. But we saw them at the beginning of this arc, and then I think Kukaku, that's her name, she said, alright, you guys go train, get prepared for this fight. Why aren't they there with the rest of the Fullbringers? With Yukio and Ruruka, I don't believe they gotten any stronger. You know, as we've seen with the flashback, they seem kind of like out of the blue that Urahara contacted them, like, hey, we got a situation, we need your abilities. And so he just invited them over. I don't believe they've been training with their abilities. I believe they also seem like kind of the weakest of the Fullbringers, because they don't seem like attacking types. They seem more like support, kind of. So with that being said, do they fit into this battle in terms of combat capabilities? Can they do anything that we didn't see during the Fullbringer arc? I doubt it. I believe that they're just there to create that elevator so that everyone can get up there, and they're just going to hang back. Maybe one of them might die. I mean, I don't want to call that out right now because that's just speculation, but one of them might die because they don't have, you know, that kind of combat ability. I mean, I would be surprised if they came out with some new ability like, oh, over these past 2 years we were training, but to me that seemed like an ass pull. Another thing I want to note about is the fact that Grimjow, he said that our numbers don't matter anymore. You know, Aizen isn't around. I kind of wanted to see how they feel about Aizen being back now that he's out of the Mugen, I believe. Yeah, now that he's out of the Mugen, now that he's out of prison, now that he's on his way to the Soul Palace, I wonder how they're going to feel with him back. Are they going to be angry at him? Are they going to be relieved? Like, oh my god, Aizen, you know, you're back. Even though Grimjow, he never really had an affiliation to Aizen. He never really saw him as a leader or whatever. But I wonder, does Nelia, does she care? Maybe she doesn't care. And another thing, where's Hallibell, right? Because we have Nell and we have Grimjow. And Hallibell was locked up by the Quincy's and by the Soul Dad. So wouldn't you know, they go save her and bring her along. Like, okay, you know, let's go get Halle Bell since we're all going or whatever. The last thing I want to note is the fact that these specific characters are the ones that go up to the Soul Society. As we found out earlier, when all the captains and the lieutenants got their Bankai back, hollows are highly poisonous to Quincy's, and Fullbringers are just humans with hollow abilities. And the Espada, right now, they're, you know, technically, you know, hollows with Shinigami abilities. So could they do some type of assault on the remaining Quincy's just to hold them back until the main captains get there, and then the main captains, you know, go in, do their thing, wipe out the rest of the Quincy's, wipe out Juha, or seal Juha if he's, you know, some type of mortal. What is, you know, that's just where my mind is working towards right now. Like them just, you know, being a poison, being like the first preemptive attack on the Quincy's to really weaken the defenses, and then the captains come in and they just clean shop. I believe that's what's gonna happen. I believe that hopefully we get Halle Bell back. Hopefully she's trained, and, you know, hopefully she can channel that rage of being imprisoned by the Quincy's. Hopefully she can channel that into, you know, attacking these dudes and weakening them with, you know, all of their hollow powers combined or whatever. Hopefully we get the rest of the Fullbringers back, because Mo, technically he didn't even die. I mean, like, he lost his fight, but he didn't die, unlike, you know, Tsukishima and the rest of them. So is he even gonna make a comeback? Also, I want to know about next chapter. I want to know about how hopefully they get that door open next chapter. That's really what I want to see. I want to see them get that door open. I want to see all the captains and the vice captains and the, you know, the exiled Stern Ridders. I want to see all of them get that door open and finally get up to the Soul Palace, and we just get a big reunion, and then we finally get these chapters, which is the final assault on the Quincy's. Alright, so that's pretty much my thoughts on the chapter. I mean, you know, I gave each chapter pretty much a solid, you know, if I had to grade it, I gave it a B. A little bit of story progression. We got the reveals of of Nell being back. We got the reveal of some of the Fullbringers being back. We got the reveal of how they're going to get back up to the Soul Palace, which is pretty good. It didn't progress as much as I wanted it to be. I mean, as much as I wanted it to. I mean, I wanted a little bit more information. I wanted a little bit more progression and maybe explore someone else besides this main group. I wanted to go back to the Soul Society, actually see them coming up, but hopefully we get that next chapter. Hopefully we get the rest of the Fullbringers within the next few chapters or so. Hopefully we get to find out what happened to Halle Bell. Leave your thoughts down below. What did you think of this chapter? You know what I'm saying? If you like this video, you know, leave it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. You know, it really helps me out a lot. And I'm Gio, the Fullbringers, and I'll see you guys later.
There's a war going on outside, no place to run and hide. Need to open eyes if you wanna stay alive. Can't wait time when you trying to survive. Even when you die, your whole life should be alive. There's a war going on outside, no place to run and hide. Need to open eyes if you wanna stay alive. Can't wait time when you trying to survive. Even when you die, your whole life should be alive.